You caught me mid stretch. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the 1024 edition Makers and Movers podcast. How are you doing today, folks? Look at today. Yeah, it is 8:30 Central Standard Time here on this fine Friday. This cold Friday. Man, telling you that wife and kids could not have picked a better day, week to go on vacation than they did this week. It was just welcome. Today, we're talking about, you're not behind everybody. You're just building. So that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about today. It's your first time here or long time here. I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area. It's cold. It was like 38 degrees this morning. Not down with that. I've got double coffee in the cup. And then the most important thing is 5 things. What are 5 things that you are going to accomplish today? So, stuff what we got done. I've got meetings galore. Fridays you try and lay low because we got things going on, and it's typically like take care of if anything. How the best way to put this, like overflow from the week, so I don't schedule a lot on Fridays. But today was scheduling up meetings, so we got those after our calls on that. I've got one at 11 and one at 1. I've still got to pull orders and get those out today. We've got to meet with the accountants today. And then we've got artwork. And then I'm going to video some content. I'm going to video some stones. Somebody was asking about blue stones. So I said, well, let's video some. So we're going to do that today. Whew. Busy day. Busy day. Where did this week go? Anybody else think that? Like this week just kind of like, poof, like out of nowhere. Gabriella, good morning. Good afternoon to you over there. Sharon, good morning. Listening from the car. Quick store run before I start my day. Ooh, what are we getting at the store? I got to go to the store because I'm deciding when they get home on Sunday night to have some chicken tortilla soup ready for them. Sounds like a good Sunday fun day dinner. So we're going to do chicken tortilla soup. That's what I'm going to make on Sunday. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you. Sunny Cool Cliffs, Florida, 62 on the way to 84. Yeah, they will be down there. When do they come back? They get off the boat today, and they'll be back on Sunday night. So, yeah, 2 days of fun and sun down there in Florida. Renee, good morning. 35 on the way to 56. I need like 10 degrees warmer. Water in the bottle, coffee in the cup. Because tomorrow I'm going to try and readjust the inflatables. Because, yeah, windy all week. Linda, good morning. Iced tea in the cup, 5 things. 3D print, press uniforms, design shirts, order, photo editing. Linda's got a busy day in front of her. Morning, Linda from Renee. Sharon, morning crew. Rainy in Kansas. I think it's coming our way. Uh, Keith, good morning to you. Keith is in the sunny space coast to you. Renee's top 5, finish quoting jobs, finish mock-ups. Pack, buy lottery tickets. What do we buy lottery tickets for? Is it big? Because I'm greedy. I can't do it unless it's like a billion anymore. I mean, I'll probably do it. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? The funny thing is, what happens when you win the lottery? Like, what would you do? Like, if you won like the big jackpot, I asked Corey, so what do you think I would do with it? She goes, I know what you'd do with it. You'd probably buy a lot of businesses, you'd buy a lot of property, and you'd buy a lot of cars. I'm like, it's probably right. I want that recurring, the mailbox money is what I want. Claire, good morning to you. Barb, good morning. North Central Minnesota, 33 and cloudy. I got to sit up tall some of these. Cloudy water in the cup, 5 things. 3D print, invoicing, logo digitizing, senior 2026 shirt layouts. It is 2026. Jeez, didn't even think about that. And I know, but really didn't put it together. Happy Friday, Barb from Renee. Sunny but cold over there. Sleep. I Corey asked me if I slept in at all this week. I'm like, no. I went to bed between 10 and 12, and I still wake up at 5. Don't even need to set an alarm anymore, I don't think. 57 and sunny there in Virginia for Claire. Soup, right? Some chicken tortilla soup. But the request from Krista, don't make it spicy because mom won't eat it. So I'm like, oh yeah, so I should probably leave the chilies out of it. So then it just becomes, I said pretty much I'm just making chicken soup. Is that what I'm making? So we'll see. If I win, I disappear. And then, pickles. I would be down. I would be down with that. I keep saying, I don't know how many times. I bet at least twice a month I say, I'm going to make my own pickles. Twice a month, I bet I say that. A big plot of land and build my compound. I'm not doing that. I'm buying an old prison. Buying an old prison because it's already got the walls. It's already got everything there. So then just everybody can just leave me alone, right? That's what we do. Clam chowder. I'm not clam chowder, folks. It's up all night. Oof. I have those nights. Jerry, good morning to you. Um, yeah, so we've got a busy, busy day, and of course, the best way to get into it is we're gonna start with a little fun. I think this morning. I think it's something that I know I have felt, so I know others have felt it too, and I'm Brian's gonna buy the castle in Georgia. There's a castle for right probably like 5 minutes from us, and I think it was purchased in England and brought over stone by stone, and they rebuilt it here. Warner Castle. I have to go back and look at it, but remember, as a teen, it was like, "Ooh, it was a scary haunted castle." And then I go down the whole castle thing of like, how did you ever think of today, like back in them times, like how the hell did they do stuff? Like, uh, there's no heat. Like, how do you stay warm? Like, fireplace. I was like, man, we have the creature comforts here. I will say that for sure. So, if you've ever scrolled through social media and you have felt that sinking feeling, like everyone else is just sprinting ahead of you while you're still like, ooh, glue, you're not alone. Maybe you see another shop's massive setup. Maybe they're sold out again posts, and you start to wonder, what am I doing wrong? Truth is, you're not behind, right? You're building. Yeah, and building does take time. The makers who look like they are overnight successes, I would almost guarantee that they've been quietly just stacking those bricks for years. Every order you take, every mistake you fix, and every long night you spend pressing shirts or weeding out vinyl, that's just part of your foundation. Just because your wins don't look like someone else's, that doesn't mean that you're not moving forward. It just means that you're building something different. So today's episode is going to be about perspective. It's about letting go the idea that your growth needs to match someone else's timeline. It's about recognizing that every slow day, every learning curve, every improvement in your process is progress, because you're what you're building, it just isn't a business. It's a lifestyle, a legacy, and a vision of freedom that's yours and yours alone. So, we're going to dig into 5 truths to help you stop comparing and start appreciating your process. Start appreciating your progress. Start appreciating what you are doing. Remember, every maker who's thriving now once felt like they were behind too. All right. So, number one, growth is not linear, it's layered. All right. We love to, imagine growth as just a straight line up and to the right. It just keeps going like one of those perfect charts. But in reality, it's not true, right? Growth looks more like a stack of messy, uneven bricks. One week you're thriving with back to back to back orders, and the next week you're like, I turn the lights on? What's going on? Everything's quiet. Well, that doesn't mean you're failing. It just means that you're building layers, you're building experience, you're building efficiency, and you're building resilience. You know, all those things you're building, that's what's going to hold your business together long term. In those quieter stretches, you're still working. You're learning how to handle problems faster. You're perfecting designs. You're improving your systems. Just because money isn't moving doesn't mean you're not. Yeah. Just because money isn't moving doesn't mean you're not. Yeah. Those in between moments, that's where you build the confidence and the capability to handle your next growth spurt without falling apart. Think about it this way: you're building more than revenue, you're building rhythm, right? The more you embrace the slower season as prep time, the stronger you'll be when the business ramps back up. And growth isn't about instant success. It's about building something that lasts through both the busy and the still. So some examples of this, a decorator used a slower summer to completely reorganize their art folder. When fall hit, they could take twice as many custom orders without missing deadlines because they knew exactly where everything was. Another one didn't have many sales in April. Yeah, so they spent that time creating templates for graduation designs. What happened? Became their top sellers the following month. So, action step for this. Instead of worrying about slow weeks, ask yourself, what can I strengthen now that will make me unstoppable later? Write down one thing that you can improve this week. Process, a workflow, even a mindset. All right. Number two, the moment you start measuring success against someone, or I guess I should let me back that up for a second. Number two is comparison is a distraction, not a direction. All right. Because the moment you start measuring your success against someone else's, you stop seeing your own progress. It is so damn easy to get caught up in comparison, especially when your feed is full of people sharing their best angles, their biggest owners, their perfect photos, the endless amount of orders coming in, the label printer just going and going and going. Comparison doesn't push you forward, it paralyzes you. Everyone's story starts in a different place. That decorator with the warehouse, they, they started in a bedroom. That viral shop, spent years testing before they got it right. You cannot compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. What you can do though is use what you see as inspiration, not intimidation. When you stay focused on your lane, you stop drifting in doubt. You start making decisions that fit your goals, your lifestyle, and your pace, not the expectations of others. Comparison steals clarity. Focus gives it back. So, some examples of this is a decorator used to feel discouraged by another shop's polished brand photos. Till they realized that that shop paid a professional photographer. Instead of comparing, they learned to stage their own DIY photo shoots with their phone, and engagement doubled. Another artist followed, a six-figure creator who made her feel behind until she learned that that creator had been in business for 12 years. You know, that realization shifted her mindset from envy to empathy, and she stopped judging her own pace. So, action o step o for this one is just choose one social media account that triggers your comparison. How about you just mute it for 30 days? Instead, let's fill your feed with real, relatable creators who show both their wins and their struggles. I do. Yesterday was a super slow day. We have a goal that we need to hit every day, and it was a fraction of it. We didn't do anything different. We kept consistent what we're doing. It was just an off day. Like, sometimes it just happens. We're on track for where we need to be for the month, but still, when I see that, it makes me, we just go through it. Right. Now, number three, every step is still a step forward. Right? Progress and progress, even if it's slow. Every shirt you press, every order you ship, every conversation with a potential customer is a step forward. Too often, we overlook those small wins because they don't feel big enough. And the truth is, every small move compounds over time. You can't see the full picture while you're building it. But one day, you'll look back and you'll realize that all those tiny decisions added up to something powerful. The goal isn't to move fast, it's to move consistently. Consistently, because consistency beats speed every single time. I need to wet my whistle. I think it's a problem with coffee. Coffee doesn't always wet my whistle with it. All right. When you start celebrating effort instead of outcome, you'll find momentum in those moments that you used to dismiss. The act of showing up, even when you don't feel like it, is what builds businesses that last. So, some examples. A decorator set a goal to post on Facebook 3 times a week, no matter what. For months, saw no change, and then suddenly one post about a team order brought in 4 new clients. Just showing up consistently. We do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes 5 people, sometimes 50 people, once over 100. It just we just show up consistently. Hopefully, we'll continue to grow with it. Another one, used to beat themselves up for not growing fast enough. Then they tracked their repeat orders over 6 months and realized that the customer return rate had quietly doubled. You know? So, action step for this: at the end of each week, write down 3 things you accomplished, no matter how small. Over time, this list becomes your proof of progress. So, before we get into 4 or 5, check back in. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I think it was piece by piece because since it's copper, I think it was over in the frame. That's a good question. That sounds like a Brian. Brian probably knows the answer to this question, or Jerry, or Renee. One of those 3 would know. Hi, Renee, Barb, Todd, Chuck, Linda. Good morning, Jerry. Um, Thanks, Jerry. Linda, did you have a good birthday? Where'd you end up going to dinner? Uh, Angela took at least a year to get. Angela Jasmina took at least a year to get customers. I think it was longer than that, wasn't it? And then it went down, and like things get really scary, and now it's back up. It's a tiny house compound with a clubhouse. Everyone has their own space. I don't want to be that close to people. Listen, the prisons are big. They got different cell blocks. That's right. Plus, they probably have a big commercial kitchen, and a lot of them have auto shops and a garden. I'm just saying, and walls to keep people out. I'm just saying. Tim, good morning to you. All busy day there. That's what we like to hear, Tim. Hi, Tim. I'm Jerry. 350 pieces and shipped over. What's 350 pieces is what Statue of Liberty came over in and shipped over. See, I knew Brian would know. Brian's smart like that. He has the Google fingers really well. That's what I'm gonna say. I mean, he might have known that, but we'll see how it is. All right. Number 4 is let's use that downtime to build systems and not stress. When things slow down, your instinct might be to panic, but slow periods are actually your greatest opportunity. They give you the space to fix bottlenecks, to improve organization, and to create systems that will save you later. Well, most makers only build systems when they're drowning, but the smart ones, they do that before the wave hits. You can use that downtime to streamline your order process, prep social media posts, or organize your supply shelves. But those behind the scenes upgrades, they might not bring in immediate profit, but they'll multiply your productivity when the busy season returns. The goal is not to be busy, the goal is to be ready. Slow seasons do not mean failure. They mean you've just been given time to prepare for the next level. Treat them like a business blessing, not a setback. So, some examples is a decorator used her July lull to create reusable Canva templates. Let me try that again. A decorator used her July lull to create reusable Canva templates for social media posts. So when fourth quarter hit, boom, she saves hours of design time every week because it was ready to go. I'm having some issues this morning. Number 2, a shop quietly used a quiet month to set up, automated order configurations and rush fee options. This eliminated dozens of back and forth messages once orders started picking back up. So, action step: just pick one recurring task that eats your time and find a way to automate it, simplify it, or template it before next week. So we got. Okay. And number five, is celebrate the building season you're in. You do not have to wait until you make it to be proud. The building season deserves celebration too, because that's where character, skill, and confidence are born. When you start recognizing your progress, you shift from surviving to thriving. Way too many makers only celebrate when something big happens. A viral post, a huge order, or we're hitting a milestone. But the truth is, your growth is in the daily work. Every satisfied customer, every fixed mistake, every new product idea counts. You are laying bricks that your future will stand on. When you take pride in where you are, you attract better energy, better customers, and most important, better opportunities. Gratitude fuels growth. It makes the whole process a lot more fun. So, example of this, makers started writing Friday wins on their whiteboard. Small things like shipped early, got a great review, sweet feedback. You know, that simple habit changed their whole attitude about the progress. Another printer printed a photo of their first ever setup and hung it next to their new equipment, a daily reminder of how far they've come. Have we done that? Look back at our very first setup and where we've got to now. Those with the auto screen printers. Do you remember what you started with and where you've become? Hey, those with multi-head embroidery machines. Do you remember what you started with and where you came? Hey, there's a lot that goes back to that. Remember how excited you were back then? Let's bring that back to it. So, so what you do is just take one photo of your workspace today, messy, mid-project, whatever it looks like, and save it. Then a year from now, you'll be amazed at what you've built. So, to recap all of this, you are not behind. You're just building something real, something that takes time, that takes love, and takes a whole lot of patience. So, here's your builder's blueprint. Growth is not linear, it's layered. Comparison is a distraction, not a direction. Every step is still a step forward. Use your downtime to build systems, not stress, and celebrate the building season you're in. You know, it is easy to feel like you should be further ahead by now, but the truth is, everything you're doing right now is progress. Every single long night, every small win, every slow day spent improving your craft is just one more step closer to freedom and flexibility. You're not behind. You're building something beautiful, something that's yours. So keep going, keep stacking. And remember, the only time that matters is your own. That's what we got for you today on this fine, fine Friday. If you could be so kind to like, subscribe, share, do all those things, that would be great. Monday, we are talking about nobody believed in you, so it's a good thing you did. So, it's some of the things that we've experienced. And that's what I tell you. A lot of these talks are things that we're going through, things that we're experiencing, because we want to show that side of it. So it'll be amazing. Great. Let's check back in. Let's see, 350 pieces shipped over. Good morning to you, Barbara. Oh, don't you worry. There will be an incredible kitchen. I know there will be. I What did I come across? I don't know. I came across a food thing, and she's a brunette. She's our age or older. She's got the name sounded really familiar, but her kitchen that she does stuff out of, she's got the two ovens, ranges on top, and then between them is another oven. I was like, oh, three ovens right there. Oh, and I see three, six, nine burners on each one. I was like, what could I cook? And then I thought, man, those dishes. And Brian said it was put together in France before being shipped over. We're from France, right? Yeah, it Renee's kitchen would be pretty awesome with it. Okay, so that's what we got for you today. We'll be back Monday. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Look for updates next week. We got possibly some big things happening between now and then. Crossing fingers on it. That's all you get for now. We've got stuff that needs to get taken care of here. And then, hey, the fam's back on Sunday. So we're going to do a little time with that. All right. With that, you guys have an amazing day. Go out, get something accomplished. Ooh, I've cooked enough crappy ones that I know what I want, what I don't want. You know what I want? I want the butler's pantry to be about 10 by 10, counter all the way around. And I want outlets all the way around and all of my stuff that plugs in right there on those counters so I don't have to bend over and pick stuff up. In fact, Renee, I'm going to send you a video of a house. It's not a house, it's a trailer. It's a modular home. It is what it is. It's still pretty cool. But the pantry is so weird. I'm gonna send that to you so you can watch that part of it. Tell me what you think of it. That's all I'm gonna tell you. All right. Uh, Yeah, I will agree with that. Just make sure they're not all in the same circuit. Yeah, that's what we got. All right. With that, you guys have an amazing day. We will be back here Monday. Get out there and enjoy your weekend. Last week, we're gonna be starting the last week of October. Then, we get through Halloween and that's Christmas time, baby. You ready to roll? I don't think we are, but we're gonna do our best. All right. Have a great day. Peace, love, press on. We will see you then.